Have you ever seen a pro player make an insane clutch and think, what the heck? How do you just do that? Clutching in Valorant is a skill that has a massive impact on a match, often more than just winning a round for your team. Whether it's to boost your team's morale, shatter your opponent's momentum, or just win a round you guys desperately needed to secure economy, learning how to clutch can make you the X factor in your games. What's up, ProGuides fam? It's Royal G, and today I'm going to break down some clutches I made throughout my journey to Radiant. I'm going to explain my thought process while going for each play, which parts were reads, which parts were raw aim, and which parts were just plain luck. These were against high Immortal and Radiant players, so if you can follow along and incorporate this into your own gameplay, then you can even beat the top of the rank ladder as well. So buckle up, don't forget to like and subscribe, and let's get started. Also, we have our question of the day. What do you guys think about these types of analysis videos? I'm really interested in hearing your thoughts, and I know I sound like a college lecturer, but let me know if you felt it was too fast or too slow. I feel like there's not a lot of people who can break down clutches well at the highest level, and I'm really passionate about clutching since I played mostly as a lurker on my teams. I'd love to know what you think, so make sure to comment below. Since we're breaking down the clutch and I'll have to pause and explain what happens, I think it would be better that we just played the clip first before we start the commentary so you can get a feel for the round and also try to figure out why I take certain actions beforehand. After the clip plays, I'll get into the analysis.
Short. We heard it short.
Let's go quick. Flashing it. Smoking spawn. Smoking elbow.
He's offing elbow.
We have 113.
One more hook.
Oh god damn. I'm not sure the other guy.
One enemy remaining.
Oh, shit. Way to own him, dude. Nice job.
And if you want to be the one pulling off big clutches for your teammates in ranked, here's a secret. Find a Radiant or Immortal level coach on ProGuides.com to review your gameplay. Clutching is a skill that directly results from a combination of clean gameplay and solid fundamentals. It probably goes without saying, but clutching gets harder the higher rank you go. So no matter the level you're currently at, there's always something that you can improve on to gain that edge. And my fellow coaches are trained to figure out how to unlock your potential as a player. I'm also available as a coach too, but I'm not as experienced and available as some other awesome coaches on the website. So if you're interested in finding the coach of your dreams, all you gotta do is click the link in the description and enjoy the rest of the video. So for this clip, the context of the round is that it's the last round of the half, and our team has noticed that they were alternating stacks on different bomb sites every round. Since we just hit B on an eco with little success, we decided to change up the pace by hitting B again. And we had a decent game plan going in where Omen would take care of flashing out hookah for Jett and Killjoy, and I would ult out long and enter site with Raze. So the first part is pretty standard. My Raze ults and double satchels into long, trying to aggressively take space, while I follow along and aim to break a Sova arrow coming in at long. I see that on the minimap it's a Cypher instead, and I know the arrow isn't coming, so I immediately run forward while ulting, knowing that he either backed off the angle or will try to hold from Octagon instead. I flash through this cage and my Raze swings because we know that there's no one in Octagon since my ult cleared it for me. Looking back at this moment now, there's actually key information that in hindsight I didn't notice, but try and see if you can figure out what I missed and comment down below how I could have played the site take differently. I'll tell you guys after the clutch, but you guys better not cheat. Anyways, Raze gets caught in tripwire and I shoot the smoke in case Cypher is hiding inside to shoot off the tripwire contacts. Meanwhile, my teammates are fighting a war at hookah, and it quickly goes from, hey, we're in a good spot, to, I think we lost the round, leaving us in a 2v4. So in this situation, we've cleared the site, and my goal is to plant this spike as soon as possible. The reason for this is, with the chaos that was just happening in hookah, there's a tiny bit of breathing room to get the spike down before they coordinate a crunch into site. Another option could have been to push into CT, but there are a lot of risks associated with that, from Cypher potentially holding the angle from elbow, or Hookah covering the entrance while we're trying to swing and fight. Either way, the situation is pretty dire, and there's few good options here other than to 1. Plant the spike, and 2. Push an extremity. I choose the former, and we enter the clutch. The goal in clutch situations is to isolate as many fights as possible and to create space so that you can play mind games and potentially isolate more 1v1s, which nullifies their man advantage. Luckily for me, Omen's blind actually misses me here since he was targeting Raze, and he tries to spam Raze as she's removing her tracking dart. This gives me a chance to take an advantageous fight because Omen is focused on something else and he is also mid-spray. Another benefit of taking out this guy is that we clear out our immediate backline, which means we have more space to work with. Their Raze doesn't like that and tries to spam me through the wall slightly before swinging, as she likely saw part of my body while I killed Omen. I get somewhat lucky here since if she didn't try to spam me through the wall, I probably wouldn't have had time to backstep and react to her swing, but it's hard to have trigger discipline in that situation, especially since you can wallbang literally anything in Valorant. Anyways, my Raze swings backside to trade in case I die, and also knows that Sova is in hookah because we both saw the drone. Raze takes a fight with Sova and loses. Right here, we should have played together since it's a 2v2, but it's hectic, and I think Raze thought she could catch the Sova in a weak position, so I don't blame her for taking the duel. I can't help because I'm not in a position to trade as I clear the elbow peek in case Cypher was walking up, and I also have 2 bullets left at this point. I desperately need a reload, and I don't want the Sova to have time to drop down hookah if I can stop it, and I also don't know where Cypher is, although my gut was telling me he's still elbow side. The reason is that he would have likely killed Raze instead of Sova killing her if he was around the CT area. I could trade a reload here for less space, but as I'm considering it, I hear a shock dart and figure that this is a good chance to swing Sova as he's recovering from using his utility. He also shot the dart inside the tube, which means that he likely thinks I'm inside the tube, and I also won't be able to swing him without taking tons of shock dart damage. So I get a bit lucky since swinging backside is the last thing he'd expect, and I make the 2 bullets count by one-tapping him off the server and shooting my last bullet for good measure. That was probably the most skill-intensive part of the clutch, as it combined a bit of lucky timing, fast thinking plus game sense, and solid aim to pull off. To be the X factor that clutch is big for your team, you need a mix of all these things. Luck is not technically a skill, but you get luckier the better you position yourself, while game sense and solid aim are fundamental skills you always want to build upon that let you capitalize on these round-defining moments. So now that it's a 1v1, you've done all the heavy lifting and it's smooth sailing from here. Wrong. This is the most important part of the clutch, which is where you have to close out the round. Many players get overconfident or impatient at this point and get reckless, only to let all their hard work mount to nothing. An important thing to note is that if your opponent is smart, then every kill you get against his team will give him some form of information to outplay you. So when you get to the 1v1, you're more likely to be at a disadvantage if they played their cards right. In this case, Cypher didn't really play his cards right, and I had an idea of where he could be, so I jiggle while reloading to confirm his location. Since he has an op, my thought is that he will 1. Either hold the angle, or 2. Swing into backside assuming that I won't contest him. Since both are equally likely options, I choose not to take that risk, so I dog instead and have it clear right side. That way, if he chooses the first option of holding the angle, I can hit him with the dog and get into backside safely or even swing him and kill him. Similarly, if he tries to swing backside to catch me backing off, I'll have a dog in his face and that will either force him to shoot his op or concuss him and give me a very advantageous fight. A third option is that he runs it down tube with a pistol and shoots me in the head, so I have to do this quick or else he might have time to react. This leads to the unfortunate situation where I actually miss with the dog, but at least I confirm that he's not on the right side. My assumption is that the dog will distract him, so I take a quick peek and pre-fire and then swing backside again in case he's timing me. I hold the left side of sight and I let him walk into me before I peek out slightly and swiftly finish him off with a headshot, winning us the round. For those of you guys who want to know how the story ends, we made a big comeback from being down 4-10 and ended up winning 13-10. I won't say that my clutch was what made it happen, but I think that it definitely had a positive effect on my team's mentality and gave them a sense of hope when we were down bad. It also could have hurt the other team's mentality and stopped their momentum entering the second half, and could have even led to arguments down the line if they get heated. And like I said earlier, I missed some crucial information that could have given me more options in that situation, or changed how the round played out. So if you were waiting for that answer, here's what I missed. When I used my ultimate, I didn't notice that only one of my seekers went towards the B site. The other 2 went towards market side, which meant that there was a good chance that site was completely open. Knowing that, I could have saved both of my flashes since the Cypher is the person being chased by my seeker and there's nothing to flash on site. I also could have ran into site faster and not have hesitated by still focusing on clearing site. This would mean I have 2 flashes in that clutch situation, which could have given me a better chance to make a play, or maybe I would have had more time to push into CT, or maybe even elbow to isolate a duel. The possibilities are endless, but in the heat of the moment, it's obviously hard to think perfectly. Anyways, that pretty much wraps up my breakdown on the clutch. Do note that this isn't telling you to bait your teammates and put yourself in clutch situations all the time, but instead to get a better idea of how to think through a clutch and what it takes to bring a round back from 6 feet under. Clutch situations come naturally, and your goal is to be prepared when they do come along. As always, good luck on the grind. It's been Royal G, and I'll see you guys next time.